What's up, guys? Rockin' the Whatever here, and I'm gonna start a new series. And to clear some things up about the what if Deku was the only male with the quirk, at the moment I'm not planning on doing any more series for that or any more episodes for that. I'm gonna end up doing a redo for it, to be honest. So just so y'all know that, and I'm starting a new series, and I'll be continuing both my What If Aaron Was Betrayed and this new one, which you'll tell what it is by the title. And if you've seen the movie, that's good. The first one, not the second one. The first one. It's basically like that and My Hero Academia combined. So I'm going to get straight into it. Now, we see these massive machines that are called Jaegers going toe-to-toe or fighting with these monstrous bluish creatures. And so far, it seems like they're on equal footing, but the Jaegers are man-made while this creature is not. And this has been going on for several years. And now, they call these creatures kaijus. Now that's just to sum up what these creatures and what they're being used are. And this right here, the picture that is being shown right now, is the pilot suit of the operators or pilots of the Jaegers. Now, we look at this island that hasn't been discovered yet, as we see a young boy on it. He doesn't have a name, but he's friendly towards animals and things like that. But he fights and competes for his own things. Now we're going to skip back to people that don't know about this island. And they have just seen this island pop up out of nowhere. Sometimes it just rose out of the ground. So, we see Miracle, All Might, Endeavor, Hawks, everyone inside of Jaegers. Now you may be wondering, why are they inside of Jaegers? They have quirks. No, they don't. Because this war has been going on for so long that everybody having quirks and things like that, since the pop-up of these kaiju, they've lost their ability to have quirks. Their gene has just died. It's not as if it died, it disappeared. It's no longer there for them. So that's why they do not fly over there and just do things that way. They don't have quirks. Mutation quirks, all of the quirks have disappeared. So that's exactly why they use these machines called Jaegers. In fact, let me show you a picture of a Jaeger. Now this is what the Jaegers look like. They are massive machinery that are used to kill kaijus. Now, these Jaegers, I think there's 3 Jaegers. Miracle, Hawks, All Might, Endeavor. No. 2 Jaegers are heading over there because it requires 2 people to control a Jaeger. But during these controlling, their minds are linked. They feel each other's pain, they feel each other's emotions, all of it. See each other's memories, things like that. Now, they're walking over there through the ocean. And they finally get to the island. And when they get there, they notice that it's home to kaiju. But these kaijus look like different creatures. Like they resemble Earth's normal creatures. Like a deer with antlers, but instead it's a deer with bluish, purplish antlers. Now, they don't know what these species are called, but they look alienish just like the kaiju, so they're calling them like mini kaijus and things like that. But whenever they got there, they noticed that there was no hostility, and this is a very big island. When I tell you, it's practically it's double the size of Australia. And while they were there to test their theory about these creatures being kaiju, they dropped some rare elemental earth materials. Well, elemental elements. I wouldn't say that makes sense. Earth's elemental elements. There we go. And whenever a deer walked up to it to sniff it, it exploded. Now, there's a reason for that. Kaiju blood is very reactive towards elemental things in Earth. That will come in a key detail very later. Now, as we look at Mirako and Hawks, who are in one pilot, and All Might and Endeavor in another. As they're talking, and Mirako says, "What the hell is this?" Now, this is all being broadcasted back to Japan. Now, the entire world has been inflicted by the kaijus, things like that, so they've all grouped up, decided to work together. The Russians, Chinese, all of them, everyone. The entire world is united to kill the kaijus right now. Because kaijus are bent on the destruction of the world. All Might and Endeavor both reply, as well as Hawk reply, and they say they don't fucking know. As they ask HQ, consisting of Nezu, of course, why not? He's the smartest. Well, Nezu's non-existent. Never mind, Nezu's dead. Well, not dead, but he was smart. Till the quirk genes got erased permanently. Even their children won't have quirks. So he just became a normal, everyday animal. I don't even know what the hell he's called. He's not a bear, he's not a rat, he's not a dog. He's something. He's some type of animal. So, they have him, like, locked up somewhere. Not locked up, but, like, in a normal animal habitation. I don't even think that's a word. But forget that. Let's say the person that's leading it right now would be the Dragon Hero. I forgot her name, but it's the Dragon Hero. Now, as they were scanning for heat signatures, they got a lot, but one stuck out the most. It wasn't emitting a lot of heat, but it almost emitted the same heat as a human. Because humans don't have fur, so I'm guessing, I'm not sure about this, but I'm guessing that animals would be way hotter than humans. So as they broadcast this to HQ and All Might and Endeavor, everyone there is looking at this as they're confused. As they make their way to it, and it's like 30 miles away. As they finally get close enough to it, this is when a young boy walks out. Now, this young boy has white hair and almost like kaiju blood level eyes. And now kaiju blood, if you don't know what it looks like, it's a bright neon blue. So that's what his eyes look like, and they glow in the dark. So Mirako and Hawks get out of their Jaeger, well, deploy out of their Jaeger, and they walk up to the boy. As the boy jumps back and gets into a combat position, and he speaks a language that they don't understand at all. And now, we're going to cut to this young boy who's saying, "Who are you and what kind of kaiju are you?" Because in this one, this young boy has lived on this island, which is home to lots of other kaiju, not just like the animals, but the normal kaijus that the humans and all the other ones have been seeing. So, he's gone around, he's fought several kaijus, and he's, at this point, he's extremely powerful. Now, this is when All Might and Endeavor go to smack a large, almost brachiosaurus-looking kaiju that's friendly. As he goes to swing at it, this is when the young boy disappears and reappears in front, on top of this brachia kaiju. I'm gonna call it that, the brachia kaiju, and stops the Jaeger hand, which is the size of like a mountain, almost. Well, it's not the size of the mountain, but it's almost the size of like, to stick, I'd say it's one of those huge trees that are endangered right now. Not really many of them anymore, that go over 100 feet high. The arm is a finger is like a thick of that, so you can think about the size comparison. And in this picture, you also get a comparison because that's this Jaeger is standing in the middle of the ocean. So as he stopped that with both of his hands, as it pushed him and the Brachia Kaiju back a bit, as All Might, Endeavor, Mirako, and Hawks are stunned. They're shocked beyond belief. The Dragon Hero and everybody there working is also shocked. As he says again, who are you and what kind of kaiju are you? This time they can understand a bit because he said kaiju. Like that. So Mirako and Hawks run over to the boy and try grabbing him. As whenever Mirako grabs him, she feels how tense. Not just tense, but how dense his body is. And it shocks her a bit. She says, how old is this kid? As they do a bodily scan, and it shows that his body is nowhere near past the age of 10. So this boy is 10 years old. And that shocks me because they just watched this kid stop an entire attack from a Jaeger. Oh, that's not good at all. So Miracle picks this kid up as they put him inside of the Jaeger. And as soon as they put him in there, he broke out. He punched straight through the side of the Jaeger's head. Now, Miracle and all of them are thinking this kid has a quirk. But then they remember that none of the quirks in the entire world are there anymore. They've all disappeared. They've all been erased. Now, this is when they finally speak to the kid, saying, who are you? Now, this kid doesn't know what they're saying as he looks with a confused expression as he draws on the ground an owl and an R and then a little U underneath it. Now, this kid has seen an owl before, and he knows that it goes who, so he's guessing who are you. And he writes on the ground an eyeball with a don't. Yeah, I'm gonna say he can know don't. And then shakes his head. Miracle taking this, it took her a little bit, but then she realized that he said, I don't know. As the boy looks like this at the moment. Still does. He looks like this, but younger. Okay, let's just say that. Looks like this, but younger. And his eyes are blue, not red. As they have a slit in them like a snake, and so do kaiju. So Miracle looking at this, she's seeing a humanoid kaiju. And this is when, out of nowhere, the entire side of that island starts shaking. And shaking even more. Then all of a sudden, over the mountain, a massive kaiju. And this little person at the bottom is Mirako. Because Hawks is sitting by the Jaeger. Massive kaiju like this comes up and is looking at everybody. As Mirako makes a break for it, trying to run to her Jaeger, she remembers, oh, the kid's still down there. She goes to get Midori. No. She goes to get the kid. The kid just starts walking towards this kaiju. As she tries to stop him, he just keeps walking, dragging her along with him. And this is whenever he finally gets to the claw of the kaiju. The kaiju looks down at him and puts its head down towards him. It's looking right at him, but it's not making any type of hostile move. And then, out of nowhere, it goes to swing its hand at the young boy. But the young boy just picks the entire kaiju up and throws it up in the air. And then it smashes into the ground, unconscious. Now this is whenever All Might and Endeavor walk over with a heated red spinning blade and cut the kaiju's throat as it bleeds out and its eyes, well, not its eyes, but the young boy's eyes glow bright green from seeing the blood of a kaiju. He doesn't know why, but he felt like he changed a bit. Now, We're going to cut to them trying to take him onto the Jaeger again. This time he's shaking his head no. So they call HQ and they say they're going to camp out on this island for a bit, which they do for the next week. And over this week, they figured out that this young boy knows how to hunt, butcher, and cook. Now, he's eating these deers. The deer's meat is not red, it's blue like kaiju's. As they're hesitant to eat it, but whenever they eat it, they feel as though they've been fully healed. They have no injuries at all. They feel amazing. Yes, these kaiju animals have healing properties. Now, over this week, Mirko is trying to teach the young boy English, which isn't that hard for him to understand since he's super intelligent. As over the week, he finally learns how to completely speak English. Now, Mirko's asking him questions like, "Who are you?" This young boy says, "What do you mean, who am I?" As she says again, "What's your name?" He says, "What's a name?" She's shocked. She says, "Do you have any parents here?" He says, "What's parents?" She's looking at him with a genuinely confused face. She thinks, has this kid lived here his entire life alone? She also asks, "What are you?" He says, "I'm kaiju," shocking her entirely and everybody there who was listening in on this conversation. As All Might and Endeavor, as well as Hawks, get in combat positions, ready to kill this young boy. And then Mirko says, "What do you mean, kaiju?" "I mean, I'm kaiju." "What does that mean?" "It means I'm like the animals here." Still shocking them again. This is when, of course, the one and only All Might and Endeavor rush in and try and punch the young boy. The young boy not even attempting to dodge or to protect himself, as they both hit him in the face, and he doesn't move at all. As he looks over at them and he says, "Why did you attack me?" As his eyes glow bright green, going into his offensive mode. Now, during this, he grabs his head as his body starts to shape and form differently. And now he's looking a lot like this now. Earlier, he was looking like a childish version. Now he's looking like this. He looks like he turned into a full 16-year-old. As again, they're shocked. As she asked, "Are you human?" Again, he replies with, "What is a human?" Now, beforehand, whenever he couldn't learn English, he would always say the word Deku, like that. So Mirko asked him if she could give him a name. He said, "Sure." She said, "Deku." "Give me a second." As he said, "Deku," and he smiles a bit and he says he likes it. As he leaves and he goes outside again. And he's a lot faster, smarter, and stronger. Then after he returns, we're dragging in a bluish, purplish grizzly bear. Or grizzly coup. I'm calling it a grizzly coup. He notices that they're all looking at him, and Mirko asked him, "Kid, do you know what a quirk is?" And he shakes his head no. She says, "Do you know what a special power is?" And he says, "No, Ian." She says, "Well, how are you so strong?" And he says, "Because I don't know. I'm just strong, I guess." Then they ask him, they've been taking notes on the entire time and sending it back to HQ via Jaeger transportation. As they ask him if he would like to go back to Japan. And he says slowly, "Japan?" And they say, "Yes, Japan." And he says very bluntly, "Never heard of it." And they're like, what? And he says, all the kaiju ever tell me is that they're attacking this island for some random reason. They just don't know why. They just attack it for fun. And this takes them back a bit. Because what he just says, basically, he can talk to kaiju. And Dever and All Might both ask, wait, you can speak to those monsters? Him saying very confusingly, what monsters? They're kaiju. He said, exactly, those are monsters. No, they're not. They're kaiju. What do you mean they're kaiju? They're kaiju. What else are they? And they ask him, what do the kaiju talk about? And what do they do for living? Them unknowingly have been living on the island that is the main breach to their world and the kaiju world. They've been searching for this hole and this breach for the longest time. And so the young boy says, well, Deku says, I'll show you. As they begin walking, they walk towards this mountain. As he says, well, we gotta go up the mountain, so I suggest you get in your machines, was it? Mirko says, good job. Yes, machines. Get in those and walk up it. As they start walking back to the machine, or the Jaeger, as he starts walking up himself, as they say, wait, you're not coming? He says, don't need to, I'm fast enough, as he just disappears. And they start walking up to the top with their Jaegers, and they finally get there, and they see him up there waiting and looking down into this hole that's like a volcano. But they realize there's no lava at the bottom. There's nothing at the bottom but a bluish portal. As they look at it, and they're shocked to see kaiju walking in and out of it. Well, not walking in, but crawling in and out of it. As they're stuttering as they ask, what is this? And he answers, well, it's the door, well, not door, but I'd say it's a way to go in and out of the place I was born. Now, you may be wondering, how is he human if he was born in the kaiju world? He's not human at all. He's kaiju 100%. But he takes on a human form because he's always been around a certain human. As they ask him, wait, you came from the kaiju world? He says, yeah, I did. Is that a problem? Miracle says, no. It's just weird that you're human. He says, I'm not human. I'm kaiju. I've told you this several times now. Why don't you listen? He said, oh, sorry, but you just look like a human. He says, no, I look like a kaiju. But you have the same properties of a human. He rubs his chin and says, I guess you have a point. As they're looking down, and HQ, the Dragon Hero, is now preparing things. As the portal opens up again, and they see the biggest kaiju they've ever seen walk underneath the portal. Because once it opens up once, you can see through both sides of the world. As it's walking through, all they see is the tooth of this monstrous kaiju. Now, the tooth of this kaiju is the size of 52 Jaegers. I mean, it's a giant kaiju. Cat 50. Now, the normal cats they see, or categories, they see is 1 through 5. This one is 10 times the biggest one they've ever seen, which is a cat 5. As they're scared shitless, while Deku is looking at it as he mumbles, as he says, well, that's Dad for you. Big as always. They look at him with pure and utter shock. Now, that's what I'm going to be living it off here, you guys. Hope you like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys very, very soon.